Hirana Kali Potokurshi Himoto Hiranaya Tokurani Kimaya Takali Mohotaya Vishitanya Kali Motahashika Hirokomati Hariamukode Ishtaya Mukupala Karanda Krusha Hyarata. If we are here now, in this moment, if we are enjoying ourselves, if we have the consciousness alive within us, that is the consciousness of all things, if we are divine in this moment, if we are exploring ourselves as the peace and the truth and the divinity of who we are, if we are allowing ourselves to be that divinity, that divine truth, right? That aspect of ourself that is consciousness, that is bliss. If we are exploring that energy within us, if we are allowing that energy within us to become who we truly are on this earth plane, are we allowing God's grace to become the essence of all things right now, right here in this moment of peace and bliss and joy and truth? Are we divine? Are we experiencing love? Are we experiencing truth? Are we experiencing peace within our hearts? Are we knowing that God's grace is the essence of all things, because God's grace is us and we are that essence, and we are true and we are divine, and we are feeling our divine nature within us now. We know that everything we are doing, everything we are experiencing, everything we are encompassing within our heart space is the divinity within us. We now ask for grace to overcome our bodies, our divine bodies that have come here to be light. We now ask for grace to overcome our bodies, our divine bodies of consciousness and light. We now ask for grace to overcome our bodies, our divine bodies of consciousness and light. I have come here to see the consciousness of me. I have come here to see the consciousness of my experience on this divine plane of reality. I have come here to see the essence of my own truth. I have come here to experience the feelings of God's grace within me. I am expecting everything to be divine in this moment of grace. I am expecting everything to be pure within me right now, right here. I am experiencing God's grace within me. Expect your grace to be seen right now. Allow your body to be awakened to the divine energy of consciousness within your being right now. Allow your body to be awakened to the divine consciousness of the energy of God's grace within you right now. Allow your body to be seen as God's grace and God's consciousness within this moment of truth, peace, love, and divinity right now. Allow that aspect of yourself that knows God's grace, that knows God's consciousness, that knows God's truth to be seen in your true essence of peace. Allow yourself to be known as God's grace right now. Allow that energy of God's grace to awaken within you. The Kundalini energy that is awakening within you is bringing you into the space of ultimate abundance, oneness, peace, truth, consciousness, divinity. We are that divine aspect of ourself that is conscious of the truth that is happening within our being right now. Allow the awakening of that divine conscious energy within you to be aroused into the essence of your beingness. Allow the energy of God's consciousness to be aroused within your body of divine consciousness and grace. Allow that energy of God's consciousness within you to be alive in this aspect of divinity and peace. Allow yourself to know her energy within you as the grace of all things. Allow yourself to be seen as the consciousness of God's grace. Allow that energy to arise within your body. Allow that energy to arise within your body. Allow that energy to arise within your body. Feel the energy of God's grace arising within you as you ask for God's grace to be conscious within your being right now. Allow that energy to arise within you. Allow that energy to arise within your body. Allow that energy to be seen as the grace of God's energy and God's consciousness within you. We seek only for God's divinity. We seek only for God's truth. We seek only for those periodic moments of awakening with our divinity. Now we are alive in that consciousness and that grace. Seek only for the divinity within you. Seek only for the divine aspect of yourself to be awakened in the divine energy of that Kundalini, allowing her to become who you are, allowing her to become who you are. We are the energy of God's grace. We are the seeing. We are the seeking. We know that when we allow this energy to become who we truly are, that we become everything that we've ever wanted to be, everything that we have ever been. We are the consciousness of God's grace right here now in this moment, allowing that energy to be divine within us, allowing that energy to consciously arise within us, allowing that energy to know us as the divine aspect of our own divine self, allowing that energy to periodically walk out into the world as the grace of all things, allowing that energy to know us as the grace of God's energy within us, allowing that energy to move through us as the consciousness of all things, allowing that energy to awaken within us. We see that God's grace is awakening within us right now. We see that God's grace is arising within us right now. We see that this Kundalini energy that we call the mother of all things is in her grace, is in her glory, right? Is in her presence. She is awakening within you as we seek the divinity of all things. She is awakening within you as we know the divinity within our consciousness, within our truth, within our beingness. We are arriving into that place and that aspect of grace within our own beings. We are seeking only for God's grace within our own being. She is arising within you. She is arising within you. She is arising within you. She has felt you. She has seen you. She has been within you all along. She is now awakening to your divine consciousness within your own beingness. She is now arising within you, becoming the consciousness of all things. We allow that energy to be who we are. We are already consciousness. We are already divine. We are already peace. We are already love. We have come into this space of knowingness of our own truth, of our own energy, of our own peace. We have come into this space of knowingness. Where is God? We know God within our own being. Where is consciousness? We know consciousness as the divinity of all things. We know that as we seek within us, we are the divine consciousness with all things. We know that as we aspect that self out into the world, we seek and we give and we know and we are divine in that conscious grace of truth within all things. Allow your energy to be seen within you as the energy of God's grace. She is arising within you as we consciously allow her to become who we are on this earth plane. There is nothing separate from us. There is nothing away from us. There is nothing that can be seen as different from us. Allow that energy to become you as she aspects herself into the world around you. We are the divine consciousness of all things. Allow that energy to be awakened within your own conscious being now. Allow that energy to seek you, to find you, to know you, to experience you as the grace of God's consciousness within your own being. The energy within you is awake, is alive, is aware, is proud of being you? Is it true? Because the pride is the pride of God's consciousness within you. The pride is the pride of knowing God within your own being. The pride is only the aspect of yourself that is God within your own being. Be proud that you are the one that has come here to be divine. Be proud that you are the one that has awakened this energy within your own being. Be proud that you can give consciousness the grace and the truth and the energy within your being now. We are spacious, we are alive, we are loving, we are aware, we are conscious, we are alive in the space of truth right now. Awaken to this energy within your own being. Allow it to be seen, allow it to be heard, allow it to be known. Call on the energy of grace within you. Call on the energy of your own consciousness. Call on the energy that awakens within you and says, hello, I am the consciousness of all things. She is awake within you, alive and aware. Allow her to become you as you become the grace of all things. We are conscious, we are alive, we are aware. The Kundalini energy that arises within our spine allows us to see the grace of God's consciousness in all things. The Kundalini energy that arises within our spine allows us to know ourselves as the true divine beingness that we are. It is now time to become aware of all of these aspects of ourself. It is now time to become aware of knowing ourselves as this divine consciousness within our being. It is now time to become aware that this energy is allowing us to become divine. It is now time to become aware that we are consciousness within all things. It is now time to become aware that this energy will allow us to see all things as divine. It is the time now to awaken to this true divine essence within our beings. It is the time now to awaken to this true divine essence within everything that we see, everything that we feel, and everything that we experience. The Kundalini energy is the essence of all things. God's grace is arising within you now. You see that the energy within you is the consciousness of all things. We arise to that energy. We arise to that awakening. We arise to that Kundalini energy, giving us everything that we need right here, right now in this moment. She is the energy of all things. She is the awakening of consciousness within our own beings. She is the consciousness that allows us to see everything as divine. We awaken to this energy within ourselves as we open up to the consciousness of all things. God is awake within us. God is alive within us. God is consciousness in everything that we see. We are awakening to the energy within us now. We are divinely aspiring to be God's grace. We are divinely aspiring to awaken to everything that we are. We can now see that God's grace is arising within us as the consciousness of all things. Allow her energy to move through your body in the consciousness of grace. The grace is the truth. The truth is the beingness. We are that beingness. Allow that energy to awaken within you. Allow that consciousness to be divine within you. Allow that energy to become who you truly are now, here in this space of peace. Allow it. I awaken to you my divine conscious energy of grace within my own being. I awaken to you. I awaken to you my divine conscious energy of grace within my own being. I awaken to you. I awaken to you my divine conscious energy of grace within me now. I awaken to you. I am holding the space for divinity to occur within me right now. I am holding the space for divinity to open up within my consciousness right now. I am holding the space for everything to become divine in this moment of peace right now. Awaken to your divine energy of truth right now. Let it become who you are, who you are, who you are. We are becoming that. We are knowing that. We are gracefully allowing that to arise within our being right now. Let it open up. Let it open up. Let it become who you are, arising within you as the consciousness of all things. The time is now to see your seek yourself within your own being. The time is now to energetically open everything that is consciousness within your own self. The time is now to allow God's grace to come to you in this moment of peace. Allowing the energy to awaken within our being. 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 Feel the divine essence of all things within you. Feel the essence of God's energy rising up your spine, into your beingness, right? Into your crown chakra, into the place of truth with all things. Allow that energy to burst forth from your crown chakra, into the environment, into the world around you. Allow yourself to know all things as divine. Allow yourself to accept consciousness as the divinity of all things. We feel the sparkling divine grace of God's energy now surrounding us as we allow this energy to arise within our being and become everything that we've ever been. We are that energy, we are that grace, we are that truth, we are that consciousness. Allow yourself to become that consciousness within your own grace right now. Allow it to expand within you, allow it to see you, allow it to know you. Allow the energy of God's grace to expand within you right now. Allow that energy to feel you, allow that energy to know you, allow that energy to seek you. We are that energy of grace, we are that energy of seeking, we are that energy of knowing. Allow that energy to expand within you right now. Allow yourself to see everything as divine and conscious around you. You are the sparkling light of God's grace within your own energy right now. You are the sparkling energy that comes to you, in you, through you, in everything that you are doing right now. Allow that energy to come to you and through you in everything that you are doing. Allow that energy to come to you and through you right now in everything that you are doing. Allow that energy to come to you and through you right now in everything that you are doing. We are divine, we are conscious, we are live, we are light, we are pure, we are truthful, we are loving. Allow that energy to open up to the grace in all things right now. Allow that energy to become who you are in this consciousness of peace right now. Allow that energy to open up to the graceful beingness of your truth right now. Allow God's consciousness to come through you, in you, around you. Everything that you are doing is divine, peaceful, and loving. We are the energy of grace, we are the energy of truth, we are the energy of beingness. Allow her to come into your being. Allow her to arise within you. Allow her to know you as the divine self that you are. Allow your energy to awaken. Allow yourself to know your truth. Allow yourself to know your divinity. Allow yourself to be divine in everything you are doing. We are awake to the consciousness within our own being. We are awake to the God's grace that comes through us in us as everything we are doing. She is awake within you now. She is becoming you. She is allowing you to become who you truly are on this earth plane. Awaken to that energy within you. The divine mother of the universe is calling you out. She is giving you everything you've ever needed, everything you've ever wanted. She is the divine energy of all things. She is giving you everything you've ever wanted, ever needed, ever done. She's here now in this peace, in this place, in this wonderment of joy. We are alive in her grace. We are alive in her truth. We are alive in her energy of God's love. Allow her to come into you now. Allow her to be in you now. Allow the seeking to become who you are on this earth plane. We are seeking the divine energy of God's grace within our own being. Allow her to arise within your being now. Allow her to become the truth and the essence of all things right now. Allow her to know you as the truth and the essence of God's grace within you right now. Allow the energy of the Kundalini within you to become arised, 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 arised. Awaken within your own being. We are the consciousness of all things. She arises within you as she sees God's grace within you. We are the divinity of all things. Take that energy into your being and allow it to be conscious now within your own self. Take that energy into your being and allow yourself to see yourself as the divine energy of all things. Take that energy into your being and allow yourself to know yourself as the divine energy of all things. She is arising within you. She is arising within you. She is knowing you as the divine grace of all things. She is seeking you. She is seeing you. She is knowing you. She is allowing that aspect of herself to become you. We see the energy of God's grace arising within us. We are conscious, we are divine, we are aware, we are allowing that energy to become who we truly are on this earth plane. We know that everything we are doing is divine. We know that everything that we are doing is pure. We know that everything that we are doing is conscious. We are alive in this grace. We are alive in this truth. We are alive in this peace. Allow her energy to arise within you now. Become the grace of all things. We seek her. We seek only her. We seek only the truth of God's knowledge within our own being. We seek only the truth of God's grace within everything we are doing. We seek only the truth of God's grace within the energy that is within us right now. Allow it to arise within you. See it, feel it, know it. Divine energy arising in the grace of all things. Divine energy feeling me as I feel the grace of God's energy in me. Allow it to be who you truly are. I am shaking with the divine energy of God's grace. I am shaking with the joy of knowing how much grace is in me right now. I am shaking with the joy of knowing that I have come here to be divine on this earth plane. I know myself as divine. I see myself as divine. There is nothing else to be. I have never been anything else. I will never be anything else. The divine energy of God's consciousness is within me. I am seeking myself as that divine consciousness that is arising within me. I am knowing God's grace in everything I am doing. I am knowing God's grace in the essence of all things. The Kundalini energy is arising within me. It is seeing me as the divine essence of all things. It is knowing me as the divine truth that I am already. I am knowing that the grace within me is the grace of all things. I know that everything that is within me is the grace and the truth of all things. I am Kundalini energy. I am allowing her to arise now within my being. I am Kundalini energy. I am allowing her to arise now within my true divine self. God's peace, God's grace, and God's love. I am Kundalini energy. I am allowing her to become who she wants to be on this earth plane. We are the divine energy of all things. We are the truth. We are the peace. We are the love. Allow her to arise within you, become you, and know you as the truth of all things. We are the divine energy. We are the divine essence. We are the divine truth. We are God's grace within us as the truth of all things. Allow her to come into your being and allow her to arise within your being. Allow her to know you as the truth of all things. We are arising. We are knowing. We are truthful. We are kind, and we are loving. We are divine energy of grace. grace within our beings right now. We are divine energy of consciousness within our beings right now. We are divine energy of consciousness, allowing, seeing. Divine energy of consciousness coming into our being right now. We are the grace of all things. We are God's grace. We are alive. We are love, truth, peace, energy, God's grace. Love, peace, truth, God's energy, God's grace within us. Love. Arising within us is the essence of all things. We give her the energy of grace right now. We give her the energy of truth right now. We give her the energy of consciousness right now. Arising within our being is the consciousness of all things. We have seen God's grace within us. We have known God's grace within us. We have aspected that grace into the world around us, and we are consciousness, sparkling, shining light, allowing God's grace to be within us right now. We are the consciousness of all things. She is the energy that you've been seeking. She is the energy that you've been wanting. The energy that you know within your own being is the consciousness of all things. Allow it to arise within you. Allow it to see you. Allow it to speak to you. Know the truth of all things as the grace of your own being. We can see God's grace within our own being. We can become God's grace within our own being. We can know the grace of all things within our own being. Allow that energy to arise within you now. Allow that energy to arise within you now. Allow that energy to arise within you now. Consciousness, grace speaking to you through the energy of all things. Awakening, alive, awakening, pure divine essence, arising within your being, allowing you to become who you truly are on this earth plane. Allow it. She is the divine essence of all things. She is your consciousness and she is your grace. There is no separation between you and the energy of all things. There is no separation between you and the consciousness and the grace and the truth that you are already. We know God's grace within us. We know Kalima. The divine essence of all things is within us right now. We are awakening to her truth. We are awakening to her divinity. We are awakening to the now moment of energy and peace. We are now awakening. God's grace is within us. Is the truth of all things. We are the energy of all things. Awakening to the truth of our being. Awakening to the seeking, to the knowing, the divine essence of ourself. We are Kalima. Awakening within our being now. Awakening to the seeking, to the grace, to the truth of all things. Divine grace, divine love, divine peace within our being, allowing that aspect of ourselves to become who we are now, allowing that aspect to become who we are now, allowing God's grace within us is as the truth of all things. We are seeking only God's grace within our own being. The divine love of us is the truth of all things. The divine love of us is the truth of all beings. The divine love of us is the truth of everything that has ever been and ever will be. I am seeking God's grace within me. I am seeking God's grace within everything. I am seeking God's grace in the energy of all things. I am alive. I am knowing my grace. I am knowing my grace. I am the grace of all things. I am God's consciousness. I am grace. I am truth. I am divine. I am peace. I am love. I am pure. I am the divine energy of all things. God's grace is arising within me now. I see that grace. I feel that grace. I know that grace. I am the grace. The grace of God's energy is arising within me now. I am the Kalima, the grace, the truth. The energy of God's grace is arising within me now. I seek and I know and I feel that grace within everything I am doing. I am conscious. I am divine. I am loving. I am pure. I am now. God's grace is arising within me. 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 I seek it. I seek it. I seek it. I feel it. I know it. I am the divine energy of all things. I seek it. I seek it. I seek it. I know it. I am the divine energy of all things. I seek it. I seek it. I seek it. I know it. Allow yourself to peer into the world of God's grace. Allow yourself to peer into the world of God's energy. Allow yourself to peer into the grace of all things. Allow yourself to become that grace right now, right here in this moment. God's grace, God's energy, God's truth is who you are. Feel the energy of grace arising within you. 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 Know that God's grace is everything that you are, everything you have ever been, everything you will ever be. I am divine grace. I am divine truth. I am divine peace. I am the energy of all things. Consciousness is arising within me as the energy of all things. I seek only for my own truth. I seek only for my own peace. I seek only for my own divinity. I seek only for everything that is already me within me. I seek everything that is God's consciousness, that is God's grace, that is God's truth. I seek only for the divine love within me in all things. I seek only for the divine love within me in all things. I seek only for the divine love within me in all things. I am the divine consciousness of all things. I am the divine consciousness of all things. I am the divine consciousness of all things. Arise, arise, arise. Allow it to be, allow it to be, allow it to be, allow it to be, allow it to be. Allow your consciousness to aspect yourself into consciousness and grace and truth, and everything you are doing, everything we do, everywhere we go, it is all
all consciousness, it has all grace, it has all truth. Feel that Divine Mother exploding within you as the beingness of your consciousness and your truth. Feel that Divine Mother exploding within you as the consciousness, as the grace, as the truth of all things. Allow that Divine Mother to become who you are now on this earth plane. We are nothing else. We always have been this energy. We always will be this energy. Allow the Divine grace, the Divine consciousness, the Divine truth within you to explode into the grace of all things. Allow God's consciousness to become you as you are in this earth plane. Allow God's energy to explode within you. The Divine consciousness of all things is the divine awakening of God's grace within you right now. Allow that Divine Mother energy to become you, to seek you, to know you, to feel you, to comfort you. We are that energy of God's grace. We know that energy of God's grace. We feel that energy of God's grace. We seek that energy of God's grace. We know that we are the truth of all things. We know that we have come here to be the truth of all things. We know that everything that is us is the truth of all things. We now aspect ourselves into consciousness and grace and truth and peace as the energy of God's divine grace within us right now. Seek it, know it, feel it. We are that energy of God's grace. We are seeking God's grace within our truth, within our peace, within our knowingness. Now we are seeking God's grace within our truth, within our peace, within our knowingness. Now we are the energy of all things. We are grace. We are truth. Truth. We are peace. We know that God's grace is coming into us as the grace and the energy of all things. Allow that energy to arise within you now. Feel the energy within you as the grace of all things. That's why we're here. That's what we're doing here. That's what we came here to do. We came here to be the energy of all things. We came here to be the grace of all things. We came here to be the feelingness of God's quality of grace within our own being. We came here to be divine. We came here to be truthful. We came here to be loving. We came here to be kind. We came here to be the energy of all things. We are the grace of all things. We are God's consciousness within our own being. Allow that energy to be you as you aspect yourself into the consciousness, into the grace, into the truth of all things. I love you. We are all divine. 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 We are all truth. We are all consciousness. We are all love. Feel the energy within your being expanding into everything you are. We are the energy of God's grace. We are the energy of God's truth. We are the energy of God's peace. Allow it to arise. Allow it to be. Allow it to become who you truly are in this earth plane. We are alive. We are alive. We are alive. Allowing divine consciousness to arise within us. We are the divine consciousness of all things. God's grace is within us as the truth of all things. I am arising. I am arising. I am arising into my truth self, into my divine self, into my conscious self. I am arising. I'm arising into everything I've ever been, ever will be. I am now in this peace, in this consciousness, in this grace of truth. I seek my divinity only within the consciousness of all things. My life is God's life. My pureness is God's pureness. My aspect of oneness is God's aspect of oneness. I have seen everything that I want to see. I know everything I want to know. I feel the energy of God's grace within me expanding into the consciousness of all things. I give myself completely, totally, and absolutely to the oneness, to the grace, to the peace, to the truth, to the love that I am already. I give myself completely, totally, and absolutely to everything that I am, ever have been, and ever will be. I am the grace of consciousness within my own being. I give love to the world. 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 I am the world. I am the consciousness of all things. I seek myself only in the divinity and grace, the peace, the truth of God's energy. Now I accept myself as the peace, as the energy, as the truth of all things. I now allow myself to become God's grace in the energy, in the truth, and the peace of all things. I am now awake to my own conscious energy. I am now awake to my own conscious grace. I am now awakening to my own aspect of divinity within me. I consciously allow God's grace to arise within my being. I am Ma. I am Ma. I am the divine energy of all things. I have seen myself as consciousness and grace. I have aspected myself into the consciousness of all things, right? I am Ma. I am consciousness. I am grace. I am truth. I am peace. I am love. I am divinely accepting myself as the divine consciousness of all things. We are here to be divine. We are here to be alive. We are here to be full of grace. We are here to be love. We are here to be conscious. We are here to be divine. We are here to be alive in this truth, in this energy, in this consciousness that is arising within our beings now. As we speak, we are giving grace to the world. Allow your grace to be seen in everything you are doing. Allow your grace to be conscious in the world around you. Allow yourself to expect yourself to be divine in everything that you are doing. I am the divine mother of consciousness. We seek divinity only within ourselves. We seek divinity only within the truth of our own beings. We seek divinity only within the knowingness that is as God's grace within our own being. I am the divine consciousness within all things. God's grace has come through me as the consciousness of all things. I seek my love within my grace, within my truth, within my peace. I am the consciousness. I love you. We are the consciousness of all things. We have given our grace to God's energy today. We have given our grace to God's energy today. We have given our grace to God's energy today. We are love. We are love. We are love. We are consciously aware of our divine truth and the nature of mankind. Around us is everything we need to become graceful, loving, peaceful, kind, truthful, energetically awakening, allowing God's grace to come into me now, allowing God's grace to see me now, allowing God's grace to be aware of my truth within my own beingness. Now allow yourself to be divine. This is the consciousness of all things. This is who we are. This is who we have always been. The Kundalini awakening is our true divine manifestation of grace on this earth plane. The Kundalini awakening is the true divine manifestation of peace within our bodies. The Kundalini awakening is the true divine manifestation of us now, peacefully, lovingly, alive on this earth plane. In truth, I am God's grace. I am free from anything that has held me back. I am now free to be God's consciousness, God's grace, God's truth within my own being. I am free. We are free. You are divine, alive, awake, aware, and free. We are free. Dashtaka. Dashtaka mati kuru tana kalapata tukuru chayin ki padayata kru anana kalapati ki kalikaramata kru chai kamata ishtava karana kalapoto kuru tai hi mata kuru patai takarachia karanaka le komata ki apatokuru chai ki mata le kuru tani kiru sha hayamu kuru tara karana kalapata kari shukuru tana kara dioto kurbeshva ha guru mata kalapi kira kana karayo to guru tayin grupa shiva gi kala kara kshini grupa ala karpa sha I am guru kara kalamata karaya potoshiki mata kalapoto kray hira karama mato grupa shiva karavatandi grupa hirako I am grupa shiva karavanda kalapakantu I am guru shiva karamako bayin do grupa karamata. Love. Kurumata hiroko. Love is all there is. We are the consciousness of all things. Love is grace. Love is peace. Love is truth. Love is divine. We are the energy of all things. Allow it to be you. We are divine. 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 We are consciousness. We are grace. We are truth. We are divine. We are love. We are peace. We are truth. We are divine. 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 Love, peace, truth, divinity within us now, consciously, gracefully allowing us to become who we truly are on this earth plane. Now, I am alive in my grace. I am alive in my truth. I am alive in my awakening. Allow that awakening to be within you right now in this moment of peace, truth, love, and divinity. We are divine. We are divine. We are divine. I'm alive. That's it. I'm alive. Kuro. Awakening to your true divine self. That is the Kundalini energy. Awakening to your true divine self.
Love is all you ever need.